computer. Okay. So first problem I think we are going to discuss today is the one that I currently had an interview and I was asked. So let's see. Let's go here into the REPL. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I think we are good now. Does anyone wants to guess what will be the result of this thing? What will be the what we can see into the log? Here, just to give brief explanation, we have three array: array 1 John.split, array 2 array 1 dot reverse, and array 3 Jones.split. These both had two different names if you just want to look at it. And again, we are going to push array 3 to array 2. This was the question I was asked into the interview, so I thought it's really good question to discuss today.
What would the dot slice -1 do normally? Like,
It doesn't duplicate?
Sorry?
Does slice -1 duplicate? Or?
A slice, I think it doesn't mutate.
But -1?
-1 is the last index.
So it's only picking the last letter?
Yes, we are only picking the last, whatever is on the last index.
it was my understanding JavaScript -1 doesn't do that though.
Yeah, I also thought that.
No, we'll get the last index. So what we want is, we want the length of array 1 and array 2, and we also need to predict that what will be the output. So if you guys have different answer, we'll write it down and then we'll see.
So I think array.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think for array 1, it's just going to be what you'd expect. It would just be John revert. It'd be like, I mean, length would be 4, right? Or 1. Or
So,
it would just be 4 and then 1.
Okay, so you are saying length will be 4 for first console log?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and what we'll see when we try to see the last index?
J, or N.
N?
Because it's not revert. It's I mean, it's tough to take it all in. I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah, N, right? It's just normal.
Okay. Does anyone else has any other inputs? Malky, other John, anyone else?
Second. Array 1's length equals array 1 dot length is 4 plus last equals array 1. So so the first one's probably going to return 4 and then J.
And J? Okay. The second one, anyone else?
And the second one, array length, array 2, that length is 5.
5?
No, wait, 1 second. Array 2, again array 2? 4.
Okay. And what we'll see when we'll try to see the last index?
Well, Malgi, did you see array 2? They're pushing array 3 into array 2.
Yes, here we are pushing array 3 to array 2, so keep that in mind.
Oh, I didn't see that. But that's. But we're never dealing with array 3. Oh, wait, you're pushing array 3 in.
Into array 2. So,
so the last one, right? The last one's going to be S then, no? On line 11.
11?
11 would be, last one would be S in that case, no?
I'm not
Doesn't
sure.
push go to the last one? Hold on 1 second. So then we're
Okay.
going to get an array inside of an array. So what
Yes,
is
we are
slice
pushing.
going to return? So slice is going to return the whole object of Jones. With that, it's going to return that whole JONES, and it's going to the count is going to be 5 on line 11. On line 11.
On line 11 for array 1.
Wait 1 sec.
You are talking about array 1, right?
Oh,
I think it's just going to be 9 because it's just pushing the other
but I
way.
thought it's related because I thought since it's assigned to array 1, maybe it's going to mess it up.
So we can keep both of the answers as of now if you guys have different answers. John, what do you say? It's going to be 4, 5, or 9?
I don't see any reason why it's going to be different than what I expect. So I think the first one is going to be 4, and the second one is going to be the total of array, what array 2 is assigned to plus what is pushed into it.
So how
I
many?
don't see where the trick is. So it's like what? It's like so array 2 is. So it's gonna be 4, and I think it's gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. And Malki, what do you say? Both of these?
Gosh, this is too hard to do at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I understand. Does anyone else has any other answer? Eric, the other
I'm
John?
saying the question is if array 1 is going to be affected because array 2, because of what we're assigning to array 2. But I think we're just,
It's been a
we're
while.
not reassigning it, we're pushing to it.
I'm sorry. I'm on object-oriented Ruby, but I did the JavaScript in the free program, but I haven't gotten to the JavaScript on the paid curriculum. So
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. I didn't mean to point you out. I was just trying to see if anyone else has any other answer.
no, I mean, some of this is familiar. It's just been a while since I did it. It's been like maybe a month and a half since I used JavaScript. So
We completely understand. We have been through that phase. Don't worry.
to me, it seems like it's one of the more popular languages, though, since like Google, what is it, Angular, JS, and then Facebook with React or whatever.
It is. JavaScript is very popular. So anyone else has anything to say about this thing? Or should we just proceed to solve this?
Let's try it.
Okay. First of all, let's see the result, what it will run, and then we'll try to explain it. So both of them has length 5, and both of them will return us the same object, JONES.
That's what I was saying. And
Yeah,
John was
you're right. I
confusing
knew
me.
it. You're right. Okay.
John, I'm not listening to you again.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I don't know what
We
you're
don't
thinking.
return your name.
Sorry?
We overrid the John in array 1, and it's not for no reason. We should have
Yeah.
made the second array Malky, and then it would have made more sense.
Okay. Let's try to console out more in detail so everybody can see why it happens. Array 1 console.log array 2. I did a typo here. Okay. And at this point also we'll try to again see console array 1. And now we'll see .log array 3, and finally here we'll see array 2, array 1. And array 2. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm doing so many typos, I don't know why, but I'm just hoping that everything is good enough to go ahead. As you guys see, when we do array 1 dot split, it will split it, turn it into the array string. Then we are doing array 1 dot reverse here. What reverse does is it not only mutate the original array, sorry, it just gives the reference of after muting the original array. So when we do array1 dot reverse, it will mutate actually the original array, which is array1, and array2 is just the reference of array1. Does it make sense?
I'm still confused, like under what circumstances JavaScript is mutating the original object and when it's just reassigning it. Like,
the only thing I could say, that's how this reverse method behave. It mutates the original array and just gives the reference of original array to this new array, which is array2.
So is it assigning ARR1 to ARR2 and then doing the reverse?
No, it is just doing the reverse of array1 and assigning the reference to array2.
All right, so it does the reverse, and then it does the reverse on ARR1 and then assigns that to ARR2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So array2 is just the reference of array1. So whatever will happen with array1, array2 will be affected. Whatever happen with array2, array1 will be affected. So as you guys may know, the hosting at this point, it is just kind of like this: variable array1, variable array2, and John.split is just the reference for both of this array. Does it make sense what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just comment this thing out. After both of this thing, what we are doing is we are taking another new word and again splitting it. So as you guys can see, we see that word over here converted into the array. Then again after that, we are pushing that new array, which is array3, into the array2. As I just told you guys, these two variables are declared just like this onto the top current scope. So we are pushing actually array3 to the reference array, which is this array, John.split array. So both of the array will be affected. So whatever you do to one array, the other array is going to be affected. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
okay, and when you push the array, the entire here we are not pushing any particular element of an array. We are pushing the entire array. We are not doing the for loop and pushing one element at a time. We are pushing the entire array all together. So the way it will look is like this. This is our reversed array, original array, and this is our pushed array, array3. Any questions about it?
No.
No.
Okay, good. So when we try to take the length, it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is entire one object itself on index number 5. So this is just 5. Both of the length will be 5, the same length. And when we try to see the last index, it's going to be this one, the entire array itself that we post. All clear?
Yeah.
Any question, anyone, any confusions? Do I take it as everyone is good and we should move on?
I had a question. When you went for the interview, was it language specific? Like, were they specifically asking for JavaScript, or were they asking for other languages as well?
Yes, it was specifically for the JavaScript.
Okay.
More around JavaScript, like front-end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all those stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nowhere near that point, but I was just wondering.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it was specific. I'm especially interested into the front end, so it was specially for that. My interview didn't include React Redux, but if you're interested into that, and if you find interviews, it's also included into the front end. But yeah, anyway, does anyone else has any other problem? Otherwise, I have a list of it. I can keep on going and on and on.
Go on and on.
Okay. Let's take this one. This was not from my interview, but this is very interesting question to discuss. It is very famous interview question. Okay, So I guess I will need help of you guys here. We need to write a function called mul, which will produce these outputs. So when we give this as an input to the mul and console log out, we should get this output. Can anyone help me out?
I'm thinking, one sec.
I'm waiting. Take your time.
Is it set for 3 parameters only, or is it variable?
Oh, we just times them all.
Sorry?
Yeah,
What the heck is that?
It's parameters, Marky.
But it's not.
It is.
But why are they in parentheses?
That's how you need to make it work.
Let's start. Function mul.
I'm just going to write whatever you will tell me. What do you want me to write into the arguments? What do you want to give it? People skip this.
Okay, so my guess is like this. Okay, function mul and give it first.
You want me to write first as an argument?
Yeah, first number or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And now make a bracket. And now make an anonymous function.
Okay. Oh, sorry. My bad. Okay.
Anonymous, right?
Okay.
And pass in second number. And now make it, and now inside of that make it a third anonymous function.
Okay.
And call it third n. Brackets, Now do first n time, return first n times second n times third n.
Okay.
John, what do you think? That's not going to work, it's caps.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Is everybody on the same page? Does anyone else has any other?
Why is there a little exclamation point?
Let's see.
Oh, missing name. Could we make an anonymous function like that, or should we do it the ES6 way?
I think it should be okay.
Okay.
We've either got to get rid of function. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Should we try?
Yeah. Well, you first need to call it. Maybe you should just do an anonymous. It doesn't like the syntax. Maybe just do an anonymous function.
Okay. Like this?
No, like minus the whole function word. And then between second n and the curly braces, put equal with a greater sign or whatever that's called. Equal, greater.
Equal.
Yeah.
Greater sign? You sure?
Or maybe it's less than. I don't know. Which one is it?
Oh,
It's the one next to the question mark.
The one like this.
Yeah.
Oh, just the arrows. I'm like, why is she saying greater sign? I was so confused. But
yeah. In Ruby, it's called a hash rocket.
Oh, okay. I forgot that. Still, it doesn't like it.
It doesn't like mul is not a function, so maybe do mul equals and then do that in an arrow function, maybe?
Let's try.
I don't know how to make functions anymore, so I do everything like that. Just do var. Var or const or that.
You are right.
And now hash rocket. Oh, we wouldn't say that. Okay, all those errors are gone now. Okay, let's run it.
Doesn't like
Mul
still.
is not a function. Okay, so we're doing something wrong here. Why is mul not a function?
What is wrong?
I think you need a return for mul.
Where? Where?
Oh, so let's do a return before every function. But that shouldn't make a difference why mul is not defined.
Yeah, that is weird.
And also, I don't think you need a return in one line, whatever, arrow functions.
Where?
Okay, I know what the problem is. Put lines 3 and 4 on lines 14.
Oh, because it's the function.
You got it.
Get rid of the return. I don't think you need those two returns.
You will need it.
No,
I can-
because it's arrow. It's arrow. It's an arrow function. I don't think you need any of the returns. None of them need a return, I don't think.
You sure?
I think
Not
you
even
won't
this
need
one?
it. Get rid of the return. Just keep going. Up, 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 up. Yeah. Move it up to the next line.
Okay.
Or you can get rid of the brackets too.
And get rid of the bracket and get rid of the closing bracket, and you won't need a return. No, get rid of both brackets, yeah. And now
Maybe-
do it. Run.
Should be
Even
able to
this
get
one?
rid of all the brackets. Yeah, you can get rid of
Well,
all.
let's do one at a time.
Okay.
Let's
Huh?
mul is not a function, so it's not liking that syntax. So I guess it does need the return.
Not sure. Let's see like this. I'm not sure. Maybe you're right, but we'll see.
And now do return first then if you're gonna do it like that, I think.
Let's see without return. Still, it's giving the same error. So let's see with return.
Okay, just do there and press enter and let's see if that's good enough.
No.
Oh no, you need return by each of them. That's so interesting.
Now let's see again if it works. Okay, it works. Now
One
let's
sec.
this way.
Let's see. One sec. Can I try?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Let's see. I mean, this is gonna look very bad, but let's see if it works.
Maybe it will. You never know.
Maybe it's just because it's a function and a function. You have to have return.
Oh, it works.
Okay.
It looks really ugly.
It's
But
readable.
I guess it would make sense because you're not doing anything else, so it matches.
I think it's kind of futuristic looking.
Why do we? Oh, wait. Anyway, one sec.
Yeah, you can remove it because it's just one arguments.
Yes, 6 all the way.
Oh, I see. So very few big developers over there.
So who knew that answer?
I knew. I read a lot.
I could have figured. I bet I could have figured it out. No, I couldn't have done that one line though. Like,
Awesome. Okay. Should we move on, or anyone else has any other question?
It's
I
just,
think.
oh, sorry.
No.
I was just observing, like, because I started out like learning a little bit of JavaScript, and then it switched over to Ruby, and you kind of like forget everything that you did before in the other language. It kind of seems to me like a lot of these jobs you'd have to be specializing in one specific language almost. So, like for example, like maybe you're using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for like front end stuff, and you know what I mean?
I think it
Or
depends.
maybe with time, it just you just get better at both of them, probably.
I think it totally depends on what you're looking for and what they are looking for into the candidate. So if you are especially interested into JavaScript, HTML, and all the stuff, you'll find jobs about it. If you are interested in React Redux later on, you'll find jobs about it. We do have an expert with us about React Redux, Malky.
Say again?
No, I was just talking about front-end technologies, and I said you are an expert with React Redux.
Why are we talking about React Redux over here? This is not React. This is React.
No, we
I'm
are
not
just
an expert. When I get my job, I'll tell you that I'm an expert. Until you're hired, I don't know. I feel like you're just someone that could talk.
But that's okay. Anyone else? Any other question about this particular interview question?
I think I've seen interview that there's that other interview question where it'll go make a function that can do either two like brackets 2, 3 or 2, 3 in the same argument.
You are talking something like this, right, John? Let me show you.
Yeah, or it's possible to make a function that can accept that argument or the
or something like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also try that. Do you want to proceed? Do you want to take control?
I don't know. I would probably take too long for me to figure that out. But I think the crux of it is though you got to do like arguments dot if you got to do if conditional with like arguments dot length and then.
Yeah, we can give it a try. Why don't you try? It doesn't hurt.
I mean, I'll probably get her. I'll try. I'll probably embarrass myself here. But...
You never know. You may surprise yourself. Give it a try.
All right. How do you
control?
Okay,
go ahead.
So I think it's if arguments dot length is greater than 1.
You may want to declare a function first.
Yeah. We function like sum. And then it'd be like arguments dot length is greater than 1. And you got to do return.
You have a typo
wait.
John.
Hold on, give me 10 seconds. Let me like so like the wait, so typo is it's a capital I.
Yeah.
Okay, then return.
And one off-bit topic, but you may want to correct your indentation because I had been told about it in one of the interview.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, how many chances did they give you in an interview? Like, is it just one chance or?
Depends on interviewer. Depends on how much time they have. What are you doing? I'm just curious.
If argument
when you want to assign it,
wait. If argument cell length is greater than 1, yeah, you're right.
Then maybe assign it to B. Do the opposite.
Wait,
if argument cell length is equal to 1.
Wait, if argument cell length is greater than 1, then you would just have both of them.
Yeah, you're just going the other way. That's okay.
But then else.
But why are you returning them? You need to multiply them.
Wasn't that what it's doing? Like,
he's just doing some. That's why, Malky.
It's some, but it says output is 24.
Oh no, it is from the previous.
Oh no, that's like.
It's from the previous one.
Okay.
Basically, I'm trying to write a function that can, like, let me write it out because this is like another popular like interview question that can do. That can take in if the 2, 3 was passed in or if 2, 3, like that. It can take either of these arguments, like. Else.
Okay, so if length is less than or equal to 1, then what are you going to do?
else if. I guess I don't know if there needs to be an else or an else
No,
if.
you should be able to do in if and else. That's it. I don't think you need if else if.
There would just be return function B
Yeah.
and return A plus B. I'm sure I'm missing a maybe like an extra one.
Good night, baby.
So I'm gonna try to run. I'm sure there's an error somewhere.
Well, it's not a function.
But
Are you going to library?
5. Now let's see if this works.
It works. It works. You did it.
So can I try?
Yeah, sure, go
You
ahead.
impressed there, Malky?
You are going to show us ES6 way?
I don't know. I would show you my way that if I was asked it, that's what I would do.
But is that doing the other case too, though? That's only doing the is that doing the one argument case, or is that just?
No, I think you can take like. I thought I tried that originally. Let me try it again just to make sure. Like.
Malky, when you write a new code, just comment this out. Don't delete it. So anyone else wants to have any question on it, they can ask John.
I don't know if it's like running this code or not. Yeah, it works with both. Like,
It's a Mac, right?
No,
Oh,
it's Windows. It's Windows.
Gosh. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna write it. Console dot log sum to.
Malky, just comment out John's code. Okay, works. Malky, would you mind to talk out what you are trying to do?
Okay, if arguments at length is only one, then, well, 1 second, Siri is bothering me. Okay, B equals,
A plus B?
I wonder if this will work. Yeah, and then basically do A plus B.
Sum is
Sum is not a function, doesn't like it.
I personally didn't understand what you tried to do after if. I know you are trying to convert it into function, but I'm not sure about the syntax itself.
So okay, let's make it longer. Doesn't have to do sum is not a function because I'm not returning something. Okay. I wonder.
No, that's not a problem.
Why is it returning 5? Oh, it's returning 5 on the second one.
Is it? Oh, yeah. So where is the problem?
It's on this one. It's on this. It doesn't like this.
No, triple equal shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that can't be it, right? Like, oh, maybe the R. No.
So let's
I don't think you need
B
the B.
equal what?
Do you need the B equals there, or you can just do the B returns B?
Well, I want to reassign this B. That way I can only do one.
Okay.
How about we'll just try var?
I don't think you need var there because if you try to convert it into function, that should work. It will host.
It's already, maybe it needs to be returned.
No. Oh, okay.
Or just do a B returns A plus
But
B.
now it's because I think it's first doing A plus B. What is it doing?
Well,
Why is it doing
it's
E3?
just returning B. It doesn't. I don't think it looks at the rest of
Oh,
the function. It just sees return
oh.
3
So
and then
why
does
is this thing so busy that every single function needs to return something?
And I don't understand. You already have a condition that arguments dot length is equal to 1. Then why is it even
I
going
think
inside that?
If you just did like a B in parentheses return A plus B and get rid of that B equals at the front,
but we need the B equals.
or get rid of the C then. Just
Say again.
get rid of the C and make it return A plus B.
Can you return a plus b directly there?
Yeah, you should be able
No,
to.
but we still never made the inner function. This is the inner function.
Yeah, but you don't
It
need
should
the C.
work. Mikey, give it a try. Rather than returning c, return a plus b there.
Yeah,
Where?
Yeah, where you are returning c on line 18. Yeah. Just do a plus b.
But I don't want to do that because it's so. Let's say it was complicated code. I want to try to reassign this variable.
that makes it more complicated though. You're
You
introducing
do not need to reassign it. Why are you reassigning it?
Because then, if let's say it was a very long equation, I wouldn't have. This is not dry.
You shouldn't. There's no real reason to introduce.
I mean, if I would do something, then what I would do over here is this.
You also don't. Why you need that?
You're creating a loop.
Yeah, but then I'm not deduping code.
But that's an infinite loop. It's never gonna.
Why is it infinite?
Because it's calling itself over and over.
When it calls itself, it's going to have 2 arguments, and it's going to hit here.
But then if it only has 1 argument, it's not going to be able to call it with 2 arguments.
So it's kind of like recurring.
I mean, no, you'll go down to 1 and it won't have anything there to. It only has 1.
Gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
You should just make it B like that and make it return A plus B.
No, but that's not dry. That's what John did. I don't want to do that. There we go.
You got it. You got it.
Because imagine it wasn't A plus B, but it was A plus B times 30 math.floor.round. And you don't want that duplicate. You want to...
So can I kind of walk through this to make sure I'm understanding it? Basically, what you're saying is arguments that if there's 1 argument for here, then return
another function, which is going to give us B. And you know what the plus of this is? Is that this we could put in a loop. Let's say it was like 4. Like that. We could put this in a loop until arguments.length reaches a certain amount, and it would be a recursion.
It's kind of like calling function itself from inside.
But you hear what I'm saying? That if you had another parenthesis right now, we could put a recursion on there. I don't. I mean, I. First of all, I didn't even know anything about the arguments.length, so I totally learned that from John. But I know that this would never pass with a. You wouldn't be able to write a plus b in a real developer world. Either you would have to take that a plus b and put it in another function and call that function when you're ready. Meaning you would have like another function over here called add, and then you would just call that here and call that here. Because a plus b seems very simple, but it might get very complex soon, and it's going to be very annoying to have to change it in two places.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a plus. You shouldn't have plus anywhere if you're writing a sum function. The sum should just be a plus. Should be the plus there. You shouldn't have a plus anywhere in that function.
But here we have it on line 8 and line 11, so it's two codes to manage. Meaning if I change over here, I'll have to come back and remember that I also have to change here.
Yeah, but I think the point of having sum is that you don't need to use the actual sum that's built in. When they want something that basically says, all right, plus sign doesn't mean anything. So
I think this is not what's relative in the concept of being able to do this. This could have been a very complicated thing. I mean, do you agree? You hear what I'm saying? Like what? Like this is not the point of this. This is just the reason that we want to be able to invoke a function that could either be called like this or like this, but this return a plus b could become something crazy. Like let's say you're on an interview and they'll be like, okay, I'm not going to make this a plus b anymore. I'm going to make it like whatever it is, and it's going to be 2 lines of code, and they're going to be like, okay, you're going to remember to change that in both places.
Well, there's also repetition too, because you're going to return a plus b twice, and like.
The idea is if you're returning something, then it should all be held like either in an outer function of like add, you know.
Makes sense.
Like you could do function add, and then you just return a plus b. Whatever. I don't know if you could do it on one line, and then over here you would just return add.
Kind of like callback.
Yeah, like because then this add function is always going to be in the same area.
I understand where you are going.
Like I feel like on an interview that would be something important because dry is very important. That's always why I'm pointing it out. Like that's why I'm saying because the main thing of this is arguments.length, and I stole that from John. I didn't have any idea about that.
But I think it's important too that the b variable is accessible with an inner function too. I think they're trying to point that out.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like this, you could just do a ternary.
I met some guy the other day who's been working in web development for like 10 years, and he says ternaries are bad.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I agreed with him or not, but like.
Well, React loves them, so right now it seems like my best possibility of finding a job is in React. So I can't diss them yet.
It seems a lot more efficient than having a bunch of nested if conditionals too. Like.
Okay. So everybody on the same page for this? Does anyone else has any other question? For Malky or John or for anyone? We are good?
We're good for now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we have 10 more minutes. Does anyone else has an interview question that they would like to discuss, Malky?
Well, I don't. You're the one that has all the questions. I don't know anything.
No, I would like to give a chance to anyone else if they would like to discuss any other question, if they have solution or not. John?
I have an example of event bubbling if anyone cares. It's pretty simple though. Like,
Yeah, go ahead. We have 10 more minutes.
I'd have to share my screen. I don't know if that's possible.
I think it should be fine. I just do stop share and then you will be able to.
It's a pretty dumb example. I don't know if you guys want to see it or not.
There's nothing dumb over here, John. You're a smart guy, so.
We are here to discuss all of the dumb and smart interview questions. Don't worry. Go ahead. I think you should be able to share. I'm not sure if I need to do anything.
You cannot share while the other participant is sharing.
I did stop. Okay, we are good.
So event bubbling is like a question I saw that comes up a lot. I was wondering what it was. It's a pretty basic jQuery concept. It's like, so this is like a CSS grid thing. So I have an on-click handler in the one div here. I'll show you guys the setup here. Basically, like there's an on-click handler on this div, which is here. But there's also an on-click handler on the containing div of this div and the containing div of these other divs. So, but there's only the on-click handler that you can access through this nested div here. So normally you would think, well, you know, I'm not clicking the parent div, I'm just clicking the nested div itself, but this is what will happen. So boom, that's the on-click handler for the div with the on-click on it. But then the container div and the outer div also get triggered. And that's essentially what event bubbling is. So and then even if there isn't an on-click handler on the div, like 5 here doesn't have any like on-click handlers. So boom, the parent divs will still trigger.
So you are trying to explain event bubbling, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Go ahead.
That's about it. That's but yeah, I just saw it a lot and I knew what it was like just from reading, but I didn't know like
John, it was not a dumb question. I was asked it into the interview before a few days. What is event bubbling, and explain.
I kind of bullshitted when they asked me, and it's like, oh well, the event bubbles up. But then I was like, well, I just wanted to figure it out. But that's essentially all it is.
Makes sense. So would you mind to simplify and explain one more time? So if anyone else has any question, they can ask you.
Yeah. So basically, like, here's just here's like a bunch of divs. You can see there's a container div of all the divs here, which is container 1, and then there's a second container of all the divs here, and then within these two containers, there's a bunch of divs that are just nested. So like in jQuery or like React or whatever, you can have like on-click handlers. So basically the on-click handler says, when I click on this like div, this thing here, then it's going to alert, it's going to send an alert. It's going to do handler for click. But so when I click on this div, so it'll trigger this div, but it'll also bubble up and trigger the parent div and the parent of the parent div. Which, because these two also have on-click handlers attached to them, even though I'm not clicking these implicitly. So you see, so here I'll click it again. I'll just click this div here, which is this, and then boom. So we're seeing this div get clicked, and even though I didn't click the parent divs, then it's going to bubble up and it's going to hit the two on-click handlers, which are here.
So if I try to simplify it, it means even if you click the child element, event will bubble up to the parent element, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, into the DOM tree. Makes sense.
Oh, I also have an example of the event loop. Give you guys a second here. What do you guys think this will console.log if we do F? So you can kind of see here, it's console.log foo set timeout 0, which should be instant, and it's calling this, and then console.log baz, and then H, which is here.
You're saying what's the order, or what's
yeah, what order do you think, if we call a function F, like what do you think it'll log
out?
out?
From the way that you explained it, I would imagine it goes from inner to outer.
So you think like
from hello to container 1?
Oh no, this is different from the other thing. This is something different. This is like the event loop, which is another like JavaScript concept. Like, so if you look like this function here though, so like if you see like console, so like So what do you guys think function f will log out?
Where is function f? I don't see it anywhere.
It's not on the screen, or is it? Oh, because I can't. I'll just bring it. I can't. I've got to. How do you? It's like I've got to reshare the screen or something. Like, how do you?
Try to reshare.
Okay. So can you guys see this?
Yeah,
Like,
now we can see it.
So basically, function f here, it calls console.log foo, calls set timeout g, which is this function here, but set timeout is set to 0, which is like don't wait at all. Then it says console.log baz, and then it calls h, which is here. So what do you guys think function f will log out?
So
Foo, baz,
foo, then baz, and then g.
and then G. Wait, what's H? No, foo, baz, blix, and then bar.
Oh, why not g? Why not set timeout after foo? Because set timeout is set to 0.
Because even if it's set to 0, it waits until all other processes are finished and then it starts counting.
Because it goes into the event queue. So it is going to be the last thing.
Let's see. I don't know if you're right. Oh wait, I didn't, because I didn't do
You
console.
know that we're right, because we're ladies. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you're basically right. I don't have it set up properly, but yeah, I didn't really understand that. I thought it would do this initially, but the event loop.
No, the event are handled at the last thing. First, the instant things like console log or calling a function will be done, and the event will be the last things.
There's actually a way to make JavaScript not single-threaded too. I was reading about that today. It's like a worker group or something weird like that. Like
I don't remember on top of my mind.
I don't know how it works completely, but there's a way to call from in like the index HTML to have like a separate. It's like something in addition. It's like different from. It's similar to Ajax, but different. It's like a job worker or something where it's like, I don't know.
Okay, I guess I will have to end this. But last but not the least, I would say everyone to give a look to the jQuery when function, because I was asked into the interview if I know any Ajax function that could handle more than one Ajax call. So that is the when function. Give it a look. If you guys need, we'll discuss it next time.
Isn't there a wait function?
When,
Also-
when, W-H-E-N.
But there's not a wait also that they like?
That could be. I don't remember. Maybe you're right. But when is the function that could handle more than one Ajax call?
Okay.
It's very interesting function. I just read documentations about it. I haven't tried it. I will give it a try, and if you need, we'll discuss it next time. How about that?
Sounds cool.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I will have to end this right now, but thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.